Hello, hello. I think we might be live. It's been a minute since I have done a YouTube live stream. Slightly different location right now. I am house sitting for my sister. She's out of town taking the kids on vacation. So I'm here. Her big dog is in the background. I'm trying to pet him, see if he can. Hooch, come here. Hooch. He's kind of stupid. I'm not going to lie. But anyways, hopefully some people jump in here. It has been a really long time since I've done a live stream over on YouTube. Luke is already in here. What's up, man? I'm glad to see somebody. I'm glad to see you're in here. It might just be me and you today. In all honesty, there's a real chance that it's just me, you, and this big dumb dog that you can't even see. He's off screen. But what's up, man? How's it been? Hopefully life has been good to you. Come here, Hooch. Come here. See if I can get him to jump up. Come here. I'll send a picture of him. What's up, Low Warbird? Favorite author. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wreck It. He says, hello? What's up, man? What is up? We got a couple people in here. That's not too bad. We'll see if anybody shows up. I don't know. Nick Boyd says, keep up the work, man. Thank you, Nick. I believe Nick is new to the live streams. Not to say we do them very often. It's been quite a while since I did one, but, nonetheless. Luke says, it's been good. I've had a good summer. I'm very glad to hear that, man. I've had an interesting summer, some big developments, some stuff. Personally, some really good news. I want to tell everybody kind of excited about this. You may have noticed, but I am now the newest contributor for Gateway Pundit. I'm handling their short-form video stuff. So if you follow Gateway Pundit on Instagram, I'm now officially, partnered with Gateway Pundit as a contributor. Very, very cool. Hopefully that opens some pretty serious doors. I'm very excited. They're good people, really good people. Actually going to be doing a little bit of work with Elijah Schaefer, the way that things look like they're shaping up, so that's really cool. Some good networking, some good people, so I'm excited about it. That's a new position with Gateway Pundit. I also do a little bit of writing over there, so if you don't check the Gateway Pundit, make sure that you do. So Luke says, I like the article you wrote for Gateway. Thank you. I appreciate that. Nice to see you again. Haven't seen you in a while. Hello, Lady Farrier? Farrier? Like a farrier's rasp? Like you work on horses? Anyways, yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't done a stream in quite a while, but I'm happy to be back. Very happy to be back. We got like 10 people in here. This is better than I thought we would do. So I'm sorry, my voice. Y'all let me know if anything looks weird. I'm in a very, very different setup right now. The lighting may not be ideal, and some other stuff. But let me know. Make sure the audio isn't like killing you. It doesn't sound too atrociously bad. There's been a lot of stuff happen. Cocaine in the White House. I want to get y'all's take on that. What do you think about the cocaine in the White House? I think if it was any other administration, it would be the scandal of the century. They'd be talking about it nonstop. Since it's this administration, obviously they don't care. You were about to watch Tucker Carlson and Andrew Tate, but I got the Telegram notification. Yeah, I saw that. It's an hour and 50 minutes. So basically 2 hours of interview with Tucker Carlson and Andrew Tate. I'll definitely watch it, but that one might be one I play in the car. You know what I'm saying? Not so much just like watching. I just tune it out. But maybe I'll listen to it at the gym, but I guess that you can't really do that. It's not on like Spotify where you could watch it easily, but it is what it is. What did we used to do on these live streams, folks? It's been so long. I was just sitting there and I was like, you know what? I haven't done a YouTube stream in ages. I might bring these back. We'll see. I got some big developments that might be happening in my life in the near future, so maybe the live streams will actually come back just a little bit. Came across you on Instagram. Glad to see Younger Voice standing for conservative values. Thank you, Nick. Hey, stick around for the stream. If you have any questions or anything like that, let me know. If you only follow my Instagram stuff, you're missing a lot. I do a radio show every day for 2 hours in the St. Louis area. I have a podcast. Haven't posted anything on the podcast in a little while. I put out some stuff not too long ago, but kind of been out of the consistency there. Most of my stuff is short-form content, but I do a lot of long-form content as well, like radio. And I used to do these streams pretty often, but I feel like in a short form I can never get the whole, I can't explain an entire position in its entirety, but nonetheless. I'm glad to have you in here. Captain Creativity, what's up, Jason? Good to see you, brother. Gabriella says, finally got to watch Sound of Freedom today. Heck of a movie. Powerful movie. it's painful to watch. It's one of those where it's like, wow, I'm glad I watched that, but holy crap, that was tough. That's a lot. So yeah, it was a powerful movie for sure. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you share it. It's done really well, 40 million in the box office. It blew out Indiana Jones. Now, who's going to watch the Indiana Jones movie? Not me. I'm not watching that. You hear AMC tried to make you not enjoy it. I've heard the rumors. I've heard people saying that they showed up and AMC had said, oh, our air conditioning broke, or, oh, we had, this problem or that problem. It's a little suspicious, don't you think? I've seen people attacking it, right? People have been saying, I even did a piece for this on Gateway Pundit, but what in the world are you doing? Sorry, the dog's making crazy noise. Hooch, what are you doing over there? Anyways, the liberal media is attacking it. I'm thinking, why would you attack it? Under what circumstances would you possibly decide that you need to be attacking Sound of Freedom, calling it a QAnon conspiracy theorist and stuff like that? That's insanity. Show your true colors. I mean, who defends pedophiles besides pedophiles? I don't know. You tell me. Jason says, gotta go to bed. Gotta wake up at 4:30 for a flight at 9:25. Please pray for your travels with Turning Point events. Take care, brother. Keep us updated. Let us know how the Turning Point thing goes. I do not envy you having to get up at 4:30. Can you re-explain the new place? I don't want to rewind. I'm house sitting for my sister. She's out of town, going on vacation. She's like, hey, Victor, do you mind staying here? The dog, and she's got a cat and like 12 chickens in a big garden. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll stay. So I'm house sitting. Didn't get a new place, although I probably will be moving soon. So there will be another new location. That or I've been captive. I've been held captive. I was kidnapped, and I've been held captive. It's very nice of my kidnappers to allow me to still post content and stream. But all jokes aside, no, I'm just house sitting. So you actually like Dial of Destiny? They had me at time travel. I don't know. I'm not going to watch it. I love Indiana Jones. The last Indiana Jones movie prior to this one was pretty crappy, in my opinion. So I'm just afraid that they're not going to do the legacy justice. They need to stop doing this with movies, right? Where they could just continue making it. Like, stop, dude. Let the series end. My throat is kind of... My voice is kind of dying out, so... Folks, what did we used to talk about on these live streams? I remember that one time that I insulted some people, but there's no way I did that every time, right? Surely not. They turned it around, in your honest opinion, much better than Crystal Skull. Well, Crystal Skull was as bad as it could get. So you're talking about the bar was on the ground whenever it came to Crystal Skull. But, like, Indiana Jones 1, 2, and 3 were amazing. They were, like, misogynistic, super right-wing, those are great movies. And then you get to Crystal Skull, and it's, like, aliens and stuff, and I don't know. It is dumb. Dumb, in my opinion. Man, Jason, if you leave the stream, there's not going to be anybody talking. We got 16 people in here. Really not doing too bad. But... nobody's in here talking. I don't know. Are you going to watch the Elon versus Zuckerberg fight if it happens? Yes. I will definitely watch the Elon Musk-Zuckerberg fight if it happens. I doubt it happens, but if it happens. Fighting monkeys. Okay, that's true. Unqualified advice. I remember that. Duels, floggings, founding fathers, base right-wing takes. That sounds like it's on brand. That sounds like something that I would talk about. So I'm down. We already know that I would beat a monkey in a death match. Unqualified advice, I'm more than happy to give. I forgot about unqualified advice. Floggings, we did establish that flogging was an appropriate punishment for certain crimes. Founding Fathers, many base takes about that. Jason also says y'all should subscribe to the Brewster Call. Jason, have you put out anything new on that? I'd like to watch more of it. I liked your content. If you put out anything else, let me know, because I don't think YouTube will let me know. Just got done watching Transformers Beast Wars. What the heck is that? I've never even heard of that before. Was it good? You put an Independent Day short? I'll check it out. I will have to watch it. Richard, what the heck is Transformers Beast Wars? I think I spilled water in my... I always freaking spill water. What's up, Mark Grace? Good to see you, brother. How you been? I doubt it's Transformers plus furries, but you never know. I suppose it could be. Could be. How you been, Mark? Good to see you, brother. I need to start doing these live streams again, but maybe I'll slightly segue bringing back the Victor Nieves show live streams. We'll see. How was your 4th? It was good. I have both my thumbs and all my fingers, so my 4th was as good as it could be. Independence Day, I say that because of the 4th, because it's more than just a day. What? I get you. Independence Day is very cool, though. I'm typically one to say Independence Day as well. My voice is getting so weak, y'all. I don't know what to do. Definitely need more streams as we head up to the election. Absolutely. 100%. James, I don't know if you're aware, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I do a 2-hour radio show every weekday, 4 to 6 p.m. Central Time. You can find me on realtalk933.com. You can also find me, there's like a bug flying around, sorry. You can also find me on the Real Talk 933 app. You can listen anywhere in the world live. But I definitely cover a lot of election updates, polling updates. You know, Trump has had like 20 points in Florida. Not looking good for Ron DeSantis, but... Oh, all right, interesting. Thoughts on Vivek Ramaswamy? I like Vivek Ramaswamy, I do. This is going to sound interesting to some people. He's not a Christian, so as far as picking a presidential candidate, I personally, based on like my own conviction, not to say anybody else should share it, although maybe, I won't vote for president for somebody who's not a Christian, at least not in a primary. If it's two, non-believers in a general, then okay, yeah, I'll obviously vote for the lesser evil, but Ramaswamy is good. I like a lot of what he's doing. He's actually third. He's beating Mike Pence right now. He's beating Nikki Haley. He's considerably behind Ron DeSantis, but still he's in third place in a field full of governors and, a former vice president and all that stuff. Doing very, very well, and there's a reason he's doing very well. I think he has a bright political future. He'll probably be working in the Trump administration in some capacity. That seems to be what he's likely jockeying for. I can't say that for certain, but maybe a cabinet position would be in the sights for him, or maybe he'll just run for Congress, something like that. But his political career is not over. India and deals with the descendants of the Autobots. Okay, we're still talking. I got you. First Last says, it's sad. I don't like watching movies anymore. They are terrible, but I went to watch Sound of Freedom. Finally, a movie worth watching. For real. DeSantis keeps falling in the polls. Trump is rising. Also true. DeSantis is not doing particularly well. He's not winning in his own home state, where you would have anticipated that would be like his base, his rock solid foundation would be Florida. He's 20 points down. He's down in all of the first 4 states that caucus. I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but you got like Iowa, those. New Hampshire, I think, is one of them. Trump's blowing them away. Double-digit lead in every single one of those. It's just not there for Ron DeSantis. He said today that he anticipates that he will support Donald Trump he would support Donald Trump as the eventual nominee, stuff like that. So we'll see. Adam Coulter says it's still early. Yeah, it's early, but that is a lot to overcome. Even though that is early, yes. You got to think this isn't just an ordinary election. People have had their mind made up, and the people who are pro-Trump they're not gonna leave the Trump team, right? If that makes sense. The percentage of people who are actually fluctuating voters is probably less than 5%. And so even if all of them went to Ron DeSantis, and then Ron DeSantis somehow gobbled up all of the other votes from the nobodies that are polling like 5% here, 5% there, Trump still wins with a comfortable lead. So I just, it's not there. Mathematically, it's not there for DeSantis. I would bet the bank on it. Maybe I'll be wrong. And of course, that bars some sort of massive thing like, oh my gosh, Trump got hit by a bus and died. Well, then it would be DeSantis. But, barring some super crazy development, it's going to be Trump. Jesus time. Yes, I did do that. I did a TikTok live stream not that long ago where I did a Jesus time again. So maybe he should have waited. Yes, DeSantis should have waited. He killed his political career. We'll see what happens to him. He was the heir apparent. He was a shoo-in for 2024. Now, maybe not so much. Trump will win in a super landslide. Yes, definitely the primary. The general is looking pretty good for Trump as well. What are your thoughts on Trump wanting his trial pushed back? I don't blame him. Who wants to be doing a trial when you should be campaigning? I get why he wants it pushed back. He also actually kind of requested it be indefinitely suspended, saying that he, never have to deal with this because, and his team laid out in the case or in their appeal or whatever you call it, they laid out their explanation that you've got the primary, opponent of the party in power being charged by the guy in power. Like, this isn't something that should be happening. So he's advocating for an indefinite suspension in a lot of ways. Tila says, friendly reminder to hit that like button. Thank you. Make sure y'all do. I don't know if it helps or not, but we do have like 13 likes. We got 18 people in here, so it can't hurt to boost the likes just a little bit. So I appreciate it. If y'all could do that, it would help, maybe, potentially. If we start doing the live streams, I got to figure out a way to make these, like, actually successful. Get, like, a bunch of people in here. That would help. We'll see, though. Redneck Zeus pulls up, says howdy. What's up, man? How you doing? Mark Gray says he could still win in prison, but the left is even more worried about if Trump does end up going into prison. Yeah, he could technically win from prison. He would not, though. Isaiah says, I like your setting. Thank you. I got a window. I got this plant. I got this wall. It's very nice. This is a very good setup, but, Captain Creativity says qualified advice. That's new. He says qualified advice. Talk about the learning curve from when you started the radio show. How did you get motivation and, more importantly, content? It was an interesting learning curve. I had the opportunity to do a lot of guest appearances, some guest hosting, before I was doing my own show every day. Then I was able to do the weekend show, so I kind of eased into it and got used to it. Then 1 hour, then 2 hours, and that's where I'm at right now, 2 hours primetime drive slot. It took a little bit of an adjustment period, I will say that, because, at that time I was doing mostly short-form content. I had done some podcasting, but not a ton, so it was definitely a shift in what I'm used to doing. Now I love it. Now I do very well at radio, and I'll definitely continue doing a show, even, if there's a future where I'm not on radio, I'd still be doing maybe my podcast daily or something. I like the format. I like being able to cover stuff a little bit more in depth as we go. But as for content, I just pull up Gateway Pundit, Breitbart, Newsmax, CNN, Twitter. I get a lot of stuff off of Twitter sometimes, depending on the day, what's going on. There's a lot. NPR, actually. I visit NPR quite often, so there's always plenty of content. Did you watch the interview Tucker did with Russell Brand? I watched a little bit of it. I would be lying to you if I said I watched the entire thing, but I did catch a bit of that interview. Theodora says, I think DeSantis should run as VP with Trump. I would like to see that happen, but it's not going to. The relationship is very soiled now. And I would blame DeSantis for that. You can blame whoever you want, but I would personally blame DeSantis. There is a bit of loyalty. Trump is a big loyalty guy. I know it's a lot to ask in the world of politics to get a little bit of loyalty from somebody, but he wouldn't be governor if not for President Trump, and then he goes and runs against him, and runs a very serious campaign against him, clearly not wanting to be a vice president, clearly not wanting to be a cabinet member, but just wanting to unseat the throne. There's an old saying that if you swing at the king, you better not miss. And in this case, Ron DeSantis, he swung at the king and he missed. This is not something where he comes back and gets back in Trump's good graces. At least I don't see that happening. And it's a shame because the ticket would have been very powerful. It would have been pretty hard to beat, but I just don't see it happening. If they can make it happen, I'll be as happy as anybody else, make amends and, kind of come together, but I don't see that happening. The plant is a nice touch. Thank you. It's a nice plant. It's not even my plant, but I thought this is a good enough spot. I got my little light and stuff, my little portable studio going on. I got my little microphone and all of that stuff. So Nick says, how can we listen in Nebraska? On the App Store or the Google Play Store, if you search up Real Talk 933 FM, click the one that has the bald eagle. It's like a boomer style bald eagle with the American flag as its wings. And then you can listen anywhere in the world. I'm 4 to 6 p.m. Central Time, so you're in, where are you in? Nebraska. I'm an hour ahead of you, maybe 2 hours ahead of you, depending. I'm not quite sure where that time zone line is. But yeah, you can listen anywhere in the world. You can also comment live during the show. There's some people who do that somewhat regular from the stream, so I appreciate that very much. Probably my last chat for tonight. Thoughts on Tucker Carlson hosting the GOP debates. It's not actually I like it. Okay, let me start by just addressing it most directly. I like it. I like it a lot. However, I'm not sure that it's actually so much of a debate, and Trump doesn't sound like he's going to participate, which is going to make it kind of weird. I wish he would, but I don't know. Tila says, I haven't had the chance to watch Sound of Freedom, but I just heard that the movie was ready to go like 5 years ago. Disney rejected it. Can you imagine? I don't care for Disney. Yeah, so at the end of the movie, not to give any spoilers, but they do mention that they had the movie ready 5 years ago, and they had a really hard time getting it to theaters. And I'm thinking, why would you have a hard time getting it to theaters? I respect them for all the work that they did to get it in theaters, but who the heck was standing in the way of getting Sound of Freedom into theaters, and why? It's pedophile behavior, in my opinion. Not making any accusation about any specific person, but that's pedophile behavior. Like the Home of the Free cover of God Bless the USA. It's great arraignment. It has lots of vets. Good night and God bless. I'll have to check it out, Jason. Take care, man. Safe flights, safe travels. Take care. I hope you have a great time. Keep us updated on what goes on there. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about? What are your thoughts on Vivek Ramaswamy? Isaiah, good question. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the stream, but you do not have to rewind. Vivek Ramaswamy, I like. He's not a Christian. He's Hindu, I believe it is. I won't vote for him as a primary candidate, but I do like him. I like a lot of what he says. I think I didn't mention this earlier, one of the dumbest things Vivek Ramaswamy advocates for is raising the voting age, which is the dumbest thing you could possibly do, right? We have a problem with Gen Z. Raising the voting age is not going to win. Like, what do you think is going to happen in those 2 years? Gen Z, for one, will not forget. They're going to hold a massive grudge against the people who tried to take away their right to vote for 3 years. Like, that's ridiculous. That's a stupid, stupid idea. The dumbest thing that I've heard out of Vivek Ramaswamy's mouth. However, outside of that, I like a lot of what he has to say. I think he's good on most social issues. I think he's good on pretty well everything I've heard him talk about. I'd have to do more research on his Second Amendment position, his pro-life position. But I do like the way he's positioned himself as an America first candidate, is definitely wise. We see that working out for him. He's number 3 in the polls, beating Mike Pence, beating Chris Christie. He's beating Nikki Haley. I mean, you're talking about former governors, a former vice president, former UN ambassador. Chris Christie, probably the guy who's eaten more Golden Corral than anyone else on the ticket. He's beating all of them and doing so pretty well. So I like what he's doing. I think he's going to get a cabinet position, maybe something like that, or potentially set himself up for a run for U.S. Senate or the House or something like that. Luke said, I think Trump's going to be at the Turning Point Conference during that debate. Interesting. I think he might be. Tila, I'll have to get out another batch of signed books one of these days. I actually am all out of my books, but maybe I'll get some more books in, and then I'll sign some. Maybe I'll do another batch. It's actually a good idea. I'm glad you brought that up. I haven't thought about my book in a minute. I'm bad at that. I'm bad at self-promotion. So maybe I'll do a signed book thing, some kind of maybe even a giveaway. I might even think about doing a book giveaway, but we'll have to see. Time will tell. We got about maybe 7 more minutes. My voice is going to kaput if I keep talking for too long, so. What do y'all want to talk about in the next 5-ish, 7-ish minutes? Hey, Victor. What's up, Oreos and cookies? Good to see you back, man. Yeah, I saw that, Luke. DeSantis blamed the Trump administration for the cover-up of the Hunter Biden laptop story. That was dumb. That was goofy. You're willing to give up your vote for a better political outcome, but yeah, I don't think just raising the minimum age requirement is the right way to go about it. Yeah, and there's people like me who would be cool with it, and we would win elections in the short term, but in the long term, we would get devastated. Come late, what are we talking about? Pretty much anything. If you have any questions, ask away. I don't have any structure. I don't have any notes for today's stream. None of that kind of stuff. Just answering whatever it is you guys talk about. Right now, Vivek Ramaswamy raising the voting age, I think it's a terrible strategy. I've given a couple of speeches where I talk about how to reach Gen Z. And I think I may have even done a podcast on this at some point in time, although correct me if I'm wrong. I know I've done a lot of content. I've talked about it on my radio show ad nauseum, how we can successfully reach Gen Z. And just a real quick, a couple things we need to do is stop insulting Gen Z. Like, if you went to buy a car and the salesman was insulting you the whole time, are you going to buy what he has to sell? No. In the same way, if boomers are telling young people to vote conservative while simultaneously telling them that they're stupid, the young people are probably not going to vote the way the boomers want them to vote. So stop insulting them all the time. Another thing I would encourage, the GOP to do is to start leaning into social values, social issues quite a bit. Stop with the whole facts and logic. That stuff's super important, but you got to be willing to lean in. Young people vote on emotions. That's why we don't win them. Well, there's nothing wrong with leaning into that and getting them to vote on their emotions whenever it comes to things like the greatest human rights violation we've ever seen, 60 million innocent children slaughtered since 1973, the issue of abortion. You can lean into that. That's really not hard to do whenever it comes to that stuff. There's a lot we can do to win over young people, but just trying to get rid of their right to vote is not going to be a successful strategy. I would bet anything on that. That is not going to be a winning strategy. We also need to stop paying so much attention, and I gotta rephrase that. We can't be so laser focused on the economy that we don't talk about other stuff. Young people have never known an economy that was anything other than trash. We grew up during the '08 recession. We've seen, constant economic problems, all the while the national debt growing. We're at $33 trillion in debt. When young people hear, well, that's going to cost a lot, so we can't do student loan forgiveness. Yeah, that's accurate, but young people don't care. Young people hear that and they're like, what's another $1 trillion? We're $32 trillion in debt. The boomers got to enjoy Social Security and all of the welfare programs and all of the benefits and entitlements that they got to get. You're telling us that you screw us 5 ways from sideways and we still can't even get a little bit of student loan forgiveness or health care or whatever it is? That's what young people think, and the boomers will not win that debate. I'm just telling you right now, they will not win that debate, so not everything has to be about my economy. But did you hear about my 401k? Did you hear about the value of gold and silver? A guy on the radio did an advertisement that I listened to that told me to buy a Roth IRA backed by silver and gold. Like, okay, that might be a good idea, but young people do not care. Think of it this way. If you're a fisherman, but you fish for catfish all the time, you use big, huge hunks of bluegill that you've chopped up, you throw them on this great big hook, and you sit it at the very bottom of the lake. That might be a successful fishing strategy for catfish. However, it is not going to catch very many bluegill. If you want to catch bluegill, you adjust your bait, you set up a different rod and reel, and you fish for them specifically. What the older generations of the GOP have been doing is they've been fishing for bluegill using their catfish setup. Bluegill cannot bite that big of a hook. They will not bite that big of a hook. You're not going to catch a single bluegill. But don't be surprised and blame the bluegill when your stupid self is throwing catfish lures and wondering why you're not catching freaking bluefish or bluegill. It ain't going to happen. We got to be smarter than this. We got to update or die. That's the thing the GOP has done very poorly with. Update or die. If you want to get young people, you stop selling them on an economy that you ran into the ground $32 trillion worth of debt. That's not going to win over young people. You want to win over young people, you start fishing for bluegill, not fishing for catfish. But the second that you start to say that, the old guard of the GOP goes, whatever, these young people don't know what they're talking about. Let's raise the voting age from 18 to 23. Okay, stupid. What do you think's going to happen in 5 years when those 18-year-olds now get to vote because they're 23? You think they're going to vote for you, you freaking dunce? No, they're not going to vote for you, you absolute moron. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on that. I feel very strongly about it. Nonetheless, what do we want to talk about? We got a minute and a half left, and plenty of things we can rant about for that minute and a half. Nick says life was better under Trump objectively. Every aspect of your life, every tangible aspect of your life, even simple things like getting an oil change or, filling up your gas tank or, I don't know, maybe buying basic groceries, that was a lot nicer under Trump. Crazy Quinn says, hi, I'm in college right now and every class has politics and it's only one-sided. My library science class required I learned, quote-unquote, how a chair is racist. Yeah, I believe that. It wasn't that long ago that I graduated, so I saw college a couple years ago. I'm sure it's worse for you right now, but I definitely experienced similar, maybe not on that scale. But thoughts, that's really stupid. That's unbelievably stupid. The idea that a chair is racist. Everything is racist to these people. It's the worldview with which they see the world, or the lenses through which they see the world is their worldview. And in their worldview, everything is racist. You could stub your toe and it's racist. People who say that are stupid and you should not take them seriously. Make them quantify it. Make them explain it to you in like the terms they would use to explain it to a toddler. They won't. They'll malfunction. They're pseudo-intellectuals. They don't know how to actually communicate. So they just call everything racist and they fall back on their degree and say, I'm smart because I have a degree, therefore I'm right. That's fallacious. That's an appeal to authority. But they don't know that because they're pseudo-intellects, not actual intellects. Thoughts on Threads, the Twitter ripoff, the Twitter copycat? I don't know. I'm not on it. I've heard really bad things, that it's just a literal ripoff, but a lot of censorship. So I'm not going to use Threads. Hopefully nobody uses Threads. That's my fingers crossed hope, is that it's going to be a massive failure. I don't want to support Zuckerberg or any of these other people. So, we'll see. But the same logic on reparations, I'm not quite sure what that applies to because I was talking so fast I hit a handful of subjects. But reparations are, the concept of them is not necessarily inherently bad. The definition of reparation is just a monetary payment in exchange for some sort of wrongdoing. Like, for example, if I smack you in the face and I want to make things even and we agree that $20 makes everything even, okay, sure. Reparations in the moment can theoretically be justified. For example, in the Korematsu case, FDR put Japanese American citizens in internment camps. That was obviously wrong. Later down the road, those exact Japanese people were paid by the same government that put them in these internment camps. They were paid reparations. That was not wrong. At the time, in fact, they were very deserving of some form of monetary compensation, similar to somebody who is wrongfully imprisoned. They deserve some sort of a reparation. Where you have an issue is whenever you ask 4 generations detached to pay the reparations, right? If my grandfather punched your grandfather in the testicles and it caused him terrible harm that may have lasted for generations to come, that's hardly my fault. Just because my grandfather did something bad to your grandfather doesn't justify me being forced to bear the burden of paying off the bad decisions that my grandfather made. I had nothing to do with it. You had nothing to do with it. It is what it is. If there wasn't justice gotten in that lifetime, you have to trust that there was justice in the next, because you can't just pass it on from 6 generations prior to the next. That doesn't work. So reparations in the moment, not necessarily bad every time, although sometimes it is still. Sometimes it could just not be justified, but in the case of American slavery, you could have made an argument for reparations, although you waited 6 generations, 7 generations, 8 generations, and it's just a little bit too late. Now, it's unfortunate, but that's the truth. So reparations are a no. Somebody says, I love how people always cry racism about everything, but they never give a dictionary-style definition that makes their line of thinking even remotely sensible. True, they've destroyed the definition of racism. I mean, even think about this. Somebody who has all of their best friends are black, somebody who has a black spouse could still be called a racist. What happened to the definition of racism? I know you could still maybe have some internal prejudice or something like that, but it certainly can't be that strong if you're married to black people or if your best friends are all black people. Nowadays, if you say, I have black friends, somebody will say, well, that doesn't mean you're not racist. What definition of racist are we using? Do you know very many racists, like Klans members that were friends with black people? Actual racists do not have black friends. We've just completely watered it down so much so that racism as a term means next to nothing anymore. Racist means you asked a question you weren't allowed to ask about crime statistics. What the heck does that have to do with racism? That has nothing to do with racism, but they've thrown that label around so much that it literally has become devoid of any sort of meaning. But, they still know that there's obviously the negative connotation, like societally, whenever you call somebody a racist, there's serious consequences to that, so they throw it around very haphazardly, and it's a problem. Anyways, we are now past 30 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I enjoyed doing it. I forgot how fun these can be sometimes, just reading off whatever comments it is that you guys put out there. And it gets me going. It really does. And we just get the spitfire and rapid fire. I don't even know if y'all can... I was talking too fast there. I got to slow that down, but... Anywho's, that's all the time we have for today. Till next time, keep me in your prayers. Keep your country in your prayers. God bless. I don't know how long I have to wait, so I'm not going to wait very long. I'm just going to turn off the stream. I'm so sorry. Prism says it's been a while. Just joined right in time for the stream to end. I'm sorry. You can rewatch on the re-upload. God bless. Take care, guys. I'm clicking the button. Goodbye. Goodbye.